Hi, I'm Chris Brown, Director of Football at Selwyn United. The philosophy at Selwyn United is based around the mantra of inspire beliefs, foster potential and we are united. So all of that kind of moulds how we plan, how we work and how we grow the club. We want to provide a high performance, fun, inclusive environment that inspires players of any age, any ability to get involved with the sport. And the club will then work with the community and players to provide a development pathway for anybody to achieve their goals within football, whether that's socially or whether that's in a high performance aspect. We just want to provide that platform for them. So we have 3 extra training programs. We have the Selwyn Talent Centre, which is our kind of the main one which most people will know. But we also have a goalkeeper talent centre and a skill centre. Selwyn Talent Centre is based around players coming in and training an extra 2, 3, 4 times a week, following a curriculum that allows them to play a certain brand of football that people around town will hopefully be able to recognise as Selwyn United. We have the Goalkeeper Talent Centre. That Goalkeeper Talent Centre is an extra session for goalkeepers and is specific to goalkeepers. We originally found that there was nothing for goalkeepers, so we created something. We have Chris Leggett, who's a really good coach for the club in terms of the goalkeepers. He does all the way through, and they also get the chance to train in the talent centre, so they can get a match training session and a specific goalkeeper training session. Then we have the skill centre, which is 1 extra training session on top of a club session, which provides players with kind of a bit more of a technical approach. So lots of touches on the ball, lots of fun, lots of games, and yeah, hopefully kind of the word inspire again inspires these players to go, I want to take the next step into the Selwyn Talent Centre, and then that hopefully then moves forwards from there. We get asked this a lot from parents, from just general people who want to know, who want to learn. Best practice around the world is that within academies they're training 3 or 4 times a week to then give them the players the best possible chance of reaching their full football potential. In New Zealand, when I first got here, it was really seen that you trained once, maybe twice a week and you had a game. And we were expecting to make pro players who can compete with the Brazils, the Englands, the Dutch, whoever it is, that they can go and compete with those teams. And it just doesn't happen. So we set it up, and a lot of clubs around the city or around Canterbury now, they're setting it up to have players in at least 2 or 3 times a week. We have a couple of groups who actually get into 4 times a week. The only problem you've got is trying to manage it and making sure it's planned well enough that you don't burn out players. So we do that basically to when they move on, if they move on to the next step up, a Phoenix, a Canterbury United, they're ready to perform or to train 3 times a week rather than once a week, because it's a big shock if you go from once a week into 3 times a week, especially if you're playing with better players. The skill centre runs from about 9 through to 12th grade, 9th grade through to 12th grade. The talent centre itself, we do have ages all the way from the 9th all the way through again. So the 9th and 10th will try to kind of join together and goes through to the 17th grade. To join it, often we've had players join through word of mouth, or they've seen a Selwyn team play and they've kind of looked into it. We have Colts teams who are our top teams essentially, and their commitment to be in that team is to be part of the Selwyn Talent Centre. So it's they give and we give, and we work together in that way. We like to have bodies around on Foster Park on a Saturday morning, watching the first kicks, watching the junior grades, watching the youth grades, and if any player, whether they're in a Div 3 team or whether they're in a Div 1 team, but they stand out, then they might get a conversation to say, hey, we've noticed you look like you really enjoy your football. Have you ever thought of doing a talent centre or a goalkeeper talent centre? In general, Chris will pretty much have a goalkeeper for each age. We'd like to get maybe a couple more, so maybe the goalkeeper from the Selwyn Blue team as well as the Colts team. That would be great, I mean, moving forwards. But we split it, so we have the goalkeepers who work with a size 5, which is kind of 14th grade and up, and then we have kind of the youth and juniors who work with size 4s, and Chris will have a group of no more than maybe 4 or 5 in a group. So it's very individualised almost in terms of the amount of time you get with the coach compared to what the boys get if they have me, and there's 16 of them in a group. So as a club, the whole reason we put on the extra programmes is to provide that opportunity to any player within the region, within the club, who wants to do extra training, wants to be playing football more. And then from that, we hope to engage the community into the fact that local players are hopefully being produced for our first team, which will hopefully bring more players to watch the first team play, have more interest in the first team, and then that can hopefully build more interest in the region, because the aim would be, can we get some of these young stallions, future stallions, to go on and play for Canterbury United, which is the next step up into the National League. From there, can we produce players who can go on to play for Wellington Phoenix, or to be involved with that or that type of level, a pro environment, whether that's here, whether that's in Australia or further afield in Europe, wherever it'll be. And then finally, we want to produce players who have been with us from day one, gone through the whole skill centre, talent centre, goalkeeper talent centre, and go on and represent New Zealand, be that age group level, be that fully fledged New Zealand first team. Like, that's the goal, that's the aim.